From RMG Productions and The Antidote to Deception, this is Fourth Angel Cry with the Wordmaster. And now to the studio and our presentation for today. Hello and welcome to Fourth Angel Cry. Wow. That's all I can say. It's been a while since we've done a live, but I just wanted to come on this week with a live because it's one of those weeks when you realize how important it is for that connection. And I know that many of you will come on more when there's a live rather than downloading the audio. I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of get your patterns. Anyhow, I hope that you do invite others on even after the live, just because of something that would have been said would have been a blessing to you and to others. So welcome to Fourth Angel Cry for this week. This week we're doing another two-part series entitled The Souls of Men, Slaves to the System. And of course, it's coming from Revelation 18, and we're going to be looking at Revelation 18, 9 to 13. But I just wanted to say that the other day I was talking to a friend of mine, and it was a conversation that made me really appreciate mental freedom and not being beholden to the system. And this week, I'm taking a break off of Facebook, and I'm realizing how addictive social media can be, but that wasn't a concern because it's been a while since I've really said I've been addicted to anything in terms of that, because things on there just put a bad taste in my mouth, and it's just been primarily for ministry. But I had to take a break because of certain issues that were going on Facebook for this week. And I said it's a good time as any to revisit a point that we looked at briefly, but only in passing. Revelation 18, 9 to 13, mostly in 13, but we'll just read the rest for context. The Bible says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more." Notice what the merchandise are, from verse 12 and 13. "The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner of vessels, ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and of iron and of marble." Verse 13, please note. "And cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men." So, what a vast collection Babylon indeed does have, dear friends. All of these you see are part of the system of the beast. If you listen to the earlier presentations, the first 5 series of the presentation, we talked about how Babylon has her tentacles in so many things: academia, legislatures, judiciaries, business, militaries, economies. I mean, there's not a facet of human nature that Babylon as a system is not so. But here you see her making merchandise of all these things, right? And then the last 2 ought to be chilling. And that is what I want to ask you. Did your hair stand up, or did you get a chill at those last 2? Slaves and the souls of men. So it doesn't matter what form of slavery that slavery takes, whether it's physical shackles, bondage, psychological, emotional, verbal, all types of bondage, where persons can have a hold on you. And, as I was talking earlier, I was saying to my friend that I despise, and slavery of any form disgusts me. For any human to think that they have mind over another person, to have control over another person, is sickening. I talked about social media and its entrapments, and we talked about also jobs where these bosses, you come in for a certain amount of hours, and yet they think that they own you. And you get to a point where, fun enough, right, that you start to become so entrapped in the system. Like, say, for example, at work, that they make you part of the team. We're the number one team. We're the best around. And you feel like you got to be a team player. And so when 5 o'clock or whenever you have to clock out, when that hits, but yet there's some more work to be done, You can be coaxed into staying a little bit over because why? Because it's team and you love your team, don't you? And we mean like we're family, right? And all types of psychological warfare games, they play on your mind. Never mind what's going on inside of academia nowadays, especially the indoctrination of our young people. This goes back decades, but I remember this young man saying, and this was, I believe, either an elementary schooler or a middle schooler, saying to me that his life isn't more than the life of a tree. His life and the life of a tree are the same. What's the difference? This was just a kid talking to me at that point, and it just chilled me. And I'm like, is this what they're learning in school? Fast forward to 2023, and what they're learning in school. I mean, if you were in those classrooms and parents, I want to tell you to take an active part in what your children are learning. Get you their IEPs. It is very important. No matter if your child is not on one, get them on one. Learn and know for sure on a regular basis what is going on inside your class, inside your child's classroom. Sorry about the tongue twister, but this one gets me so emotional because the system says if we can get them, that's Babylon, if we can get them by the age of 7, we got them for life. Friends, that's chilling. And that's the indoctrination that goes on, not just in schools, but they get them on television nowadays on social media. And I want you to understand that in the slave mentality, those who are slaves, just like with the Stockholm Syndrome, start to empathize with their captors. And if you were to tell them that you're enslaved, that you're in bondage of the worst kind, they'll snarl at you like a cornered lion. Oh, my friends, I am telling you, it is so very deceptive in this world that we're living in, that barely any sector of humanity is safe from the soulship of the system of Babylon. And here's where it gets even crazier, my friends. It says, slavery over the souls of man. Slavery over the souls of man. And, of course, that has always been the bottom line ever since Satan left heaven when he invaded earth and induced mankind to sin. First, he got 1/3 of the angels with his enchantments, and then he got humanity with his enchantments. And that has been the cycle ever since. Whatever seems alluring, he gets us. The system, my friends, Babylon, has such a hold upon humanity that it is so deceptive, I'm telling you, that it even makes you, like for instance, I'm just going to go, as I often say, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound, right? They put out a disease. They put out a false flag operation, right? And persons are wise to it. It's like it is plain as the nose on their face that this is a setup, right? That this does not feel right. That have you applied a smell test to this and see that it's not right? And you're called an alarmist. You're called a conspiracy theorist when you are in the absolute right. And persons today, they can't even see where this is going. Today's topic is just a setup. When I join you again this coming Thursday, we're going to take a deeper dive into it in those 15 minutes. But I want you to understand as we start to come down to the close of our presentation today that Babylon, the papacy, Roman Catholicism is exactly what Revelation 13, Revelation 17, Revelation 18 says it would be. Mystery Babylon, the whore Babylon, the one that causes the whole world to wander after her. Oh, my friends, it is getting very interesting out there in our world. But the people who belong to God, the people who hear his voice, must come out of the system. And that is the loud cry of the fourth angel to the system. Those in Babylon who are slaves to that system, the servant of the Lord, John, he writes that he saw and he heard that fourth angel saying to God's people, come out. The shackles, my friends, are going to be broken over the minds of persons who have been so ensconced in Babylon, whether it's in all these areas I mentioned, whether it's in religion, in politics, in economics, in the military, wherever persons are feeling that they're beholden to the system. I'm telling you, that is the worst thing that you could make a person do. But it's a masterpiece of deception, my friends, because if you can convince a person to love slavery rather than freedom, man, oh man, oh man, are you a boss. But today, the Lord Jesus is calling you out of such a system, whether it's the church, whether it's politics, whether it's academics. Parents, if you have to homeschool your children, homeschool your children. It's not a problem. You have the freedom to do so. As long as you're under the guidelines of your states and your country, you have the freedom to homeschool your children. If you have to take them out of public school and educate them on your own for dear life, do so. Same thing with churches, different organizations. But as we close out, I want you to start today by detaching from at least one thing this week. Take a step back, my friends. Take a step back from something this week. Let go and let God. I think one of these weeks we talked about our jobs and being beholden to our jobs and how difficult it is to let go. How difficult it would be for you to walk off your job, to extricate yourself from something that you know is not where you belong. And once a person could say to you, and you want to get ready to go home to be with your family, or you know that you need to get ready to go home because the next day is going to be church, but they don't want to let you go because, hey, this needs to get done. You see, those are things that you have needed to put your foot down on early on. But once you compromise, too late in the game, it's too late in the game to say, oh, you know what? I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and I gotta be the church, and yada, yada, yada. That's how they get you on the front end. So by the time it gets to the back end, it's like you are a mindless zombie. My friends, I want to tell you that there's hope, there's deliverance in Jesus Christ. His words, whomsoever the Son sets free is free indeed, and you shall know the truth. The truth is a person, Jesus Christ, and it shall set you free. Oh, my friends, today I want to encourage you to seek to be set free, to endeavor by God's grace to be set free. Know for sure that you would rather die free than be in bondage to the system of Babylon, because as you see plainly here in Revelation 18, Babylon is going to crumble to the dust. Babylon is going to be given to the flames. Babylon is going to be no more. And the only thing, my friends, only that which is done for Jesus Christ will last. Whose side do you want to be on, my friends? When the dust settles, where do you want to find yourself? Where do you see yourself? I trust and pray, my friends, that you would find yourself on the right side of history, on God's side of history, and do not let yourself be found a slave. Emancipate yourself from the shackles of slavery to man, slavery to fallen angels, and find yourself, my friends, a servant of Jesus Christ. May God bless you abundantly as you continue to contemplate on these things. Just before we close out, I want to invite you into the description area to find out more about how you can support this ministry. And if you're listening on other platforms, I want you to check out our website at theantidotetodeception.com/Fourth Angel Cry. God bless. You've been listening to Fourth Angel Cry, a presentation of RMG Productions and the Antidote to Deception. Please join us